All right, so here's a video on some channels and trend lines. They're very helpful because they can be used in Confluence with your trading, especially when they coincide with other key levels of support and resistance. So here is just a trend line I'm drawing, like a long-term trend line support level all the way from 1991. So this is a very important long-term trend line support level. We came back, tested it, formed a low here, and my assumption is at some point in the future, sooner rather than later, I would imagine, we are going to come back and test it, I would imagine so, which would be a great buying opportunity. But for channels, we basically need to connect two highs or two lows, and then we want to connect them to the opposing highs in the series. So here I'm going to connect two lows with the highest high up here, just so we can just get a general understanding of what price is doing, right? We can see that the market moved up into here, formed this high, we formed a low, and over here we actually started to reject this middle parallel channel resistance line, right? So the idea is that if we cannot reclaim the $120 area, well, what's going to happen? Right? Price is going to obviously fade down to how do I delete this? Price will most likely fade to the existing long-term trend line support line, right? We 1, 2, 3 tests. So this would be a sweet buying opportunity here. But price tends to be contained within parallel lines. Drawing trend lines and drawing parallel channels can actually be pretty subjective. There is a right and a wrong way to do it. I guess it's just based on screen time and experience and what works for you. But I've noticed for more times than not, you will see key levels of support and resistance coincide with channels and trend lines. So like I said, using this parallel channel tool, it's actually pretty cool. You can actually project waves as well using parallel channels. So just, like I like to zoom out from like a bird's eye view, and we can see this huge channel that JP is respecting. It did start to find some sellers at this middle channel resistance level. It actually looks like crap right now on the monthly chart. This phase right here actually looks like a bearish flag right here. And it actually looks like we are consolidating for a move down. So I know I've been stressing this a lot. I'm being very careful right now. I don't like the way that the market looks currently. But, for example, this could be bearish consolidation, followed by one more leg down to this long-term trend line / channel support level down here. So within channels, we have more channels as well. I mean, I could see, let me delete this just so we can see. But, I could see another channel right here. So here's a low. Here's another low right here I can connect it to. So, we got another low here. And then I can just simply connect it to, to the highs. So I can connect it to the highs over here in this area. High here. Let me delete the big one so we can see what's going on. Let me delete this little bear flag right here. So here's another channel right here. Price, we connected two lows. So we came up, formed this low, and then we came back and we rejected almost perfectly this channel resistance level, came back down, and then we rejected the middle channel again, pulling right back down as well. And then over here, you finally get the breakdown of the channel, and typically price likes to back test the spot that was previous support turn resistance. So then you get this little back test, and then you get this back test here. Price back test the broken channel, comes back down and fades. So we could be actually setting up for a move lower in the financial sector, actually, just by looking at JP Morgan on a monthly chart. But here's one example. So again, for channels and trend lines, obviously, you need to connect 2 points. For channels, it's the same concept, but we are connecting 2 points, and we then draw the parallel channel to an opposing high. And then by using the outside channel or by using the 50% retracement, which is this middle line here, we can actually accurately predict some moves. So here is a Netflix chart going back from 03. And it's actually pretty cool because how these long-term lines are actually respected. So we have a low here. And then we have a low here. So I can connect, remember we need two lows. I connect this low, and then I can connect this low, and then I can extend it out to a high. So we got the high at 43.54 right here. So at the time, obviously, we don't know that all this price action happened. So at the time, this would be the current channel, right? And I can draw that because I have this low, this low. I have two lows, and then I have a high to connect the parallel channel off to, right? So I have this high. So I have 3 points, right? 3 points are needed for a parallel channel. One low here, and then we get the high here, right? So all this price action, obviously, we don't know happened. So I'm just rewinding a time, and we're here, right? So look at how accurate sometimes these channels can actually be. And when you actually use them with the RSI or with like MACD, or I like to use the stochastic RSI, just a momentum oscillator that also uses the RSI as well. But we can see over here, once we drew our channel here, look what happened whenever we hit the opposing channel resistance line. Almost perfectly right there. We hit it almost perfectly right here. And this was a line that was drawn from going back all the way from till the early 2000s, actually, just by connecting 3 points: this low, and this high. And 2 decades later, we're hitting the parallel channel resistance line, and then we get almost a 200-point flush going on here. So what's cool is using some indicators. I like to use only the RSI or stochastic RSI, which is pretty helpful. But you get all these sell signals, right? So obviously you get a sell signal in overbought levels. You get a sell signal. You get all these sell signals, right? So rewinding back in time, we have a sell signal. We have a sell signal right here at channel resistance, right? So that just sort of increases the odds of the trade actually working, because you have overbought conditions at channel resistance along with a sell signal, which is noted below. And it actually ended up working pretty nicely. So looking at this, sure, Netflix could see some more highs. Netflix is sort of immune to the coronavirus. So sure, Netflix could end up marching its way back up a little bit higher to this, to test the line again. But looking at the monthly stochastic RSI right here, we are flashing a little bit of a sell signal. So what we can do is then go onto a smaller time frame on like a weekly chart. You see, but the weekly is actually starting to flash a buy signal, which we could see some upside in this name. Obviously, maybe we do get the market to fall and Netflix holds. But here's another way to incorporate channels into our trading. So over here, we can draw a trend line here with 2 points. But what is a little interesting is we can also connect more points up here, right? We get a high here, a high here. We get all these highs, right? So we can connect highs here. And look at what we have. We have an overshoot and then a rejection here as well, right? So what I like to do is I also like to draw my levels of supply and demand. So let's see if we can draw a channel by going from, remember, we just need to connect some highs, and then we need to connect it to some lows. So we get a channel here, channel here. And you can see that we are holding it right here pretty nicely. But I would like to see if we can get one more pullback into demand here. So Netflix is at a pretty important level here at this point in the chart. We could either end up bouncing out of this middle channel resistance level and cruise back up, or it could fall down, possibly filling this imbalance right here, this rally-based rally imbalance. So that's why the middle channel level is actually pretty helpful, because in this little area right here, this cluster, you can see the price kind of stalled around the middle channel level, but then it finally broke out, because look at that. We continue to have weekly candle closes above the middle level channel. So again, the key thing is we want to connect two lows and two highs. Pretty crazy how it hit this almost perfectly and faded. What's another name I was gonna look at? Okay, we can look at Chipotle. Here's a chart on Chipotle. Let me delete these drawings. Zoom out. Okay, so here's a chart on Chipotle, and you could see more channels that are being respected. So here we can connect a low to low. Right, we can connect a low to low here. And then you can see that it almost skimmed those perfectly. We just need to be able to connect. So some people go from the candle closes, or they go to the wick lows. So it's pretty subjective. I like to go just to the extremes, like the wick lows and whatnot. So, some people will go from the candle closes to candle close, so something like this. Or some people will go from the wick low to wick low. So in this instance, had you gone from wick low to wick low, you wouldn't have got it perfectly. But that's why I like to use other things in Confluence. And here we have a clear monthly imbalance right here in this area. Right, we get a drop base rally. And then price comes back into the monthly demand zone. And at the time, we were flashing a buy signal down here. Noted buy right here. We get this buy signal in this area right here. Price comes back and tests it. So the trend line actually was respected. And knowing that, we can actually draw. Remember, now we have 2 points. So we can connect these 2 points as well with, you see, we can connect them like this or to the highs. But you basically want to just be able to capture just the overall pattern of what's going on with price and whatnot. But channels are found everywhere. I mean, I can go into like a weekly chart here, but you get this little bull flag here. Then you get this other period of consolidation here. We can connect this point and this point with this low. So we can connect more right here. Right, because we need to identify 3 points for channels. So we get ABC correction, and then ultimately a move up. Let me delete this so it's out of our way. Okay, so again, we need 3 points. We have where's my flag tool? Flag. Okay, we have a high here. We have a high here, and then we have a low here. So again, with 3 points or channels, you can actually accurately project where a corrective move could end. So using those 3 points, we take our parallel channel tool, we go from high to high, and then to the low. And then you gotta move up, forming that low. And then we can also draw another channel here. A lot of channels. We can do a channel here. And then we can draw it up. So we can either, so if we want to, we can actually include all the points. So we can include this point, and then we can include this high. So now we are capturing this high, and this high. So like I said, it's very subjective, but you can see how the channels actually play a big role in price action, and just how helpful they can be. I mean, for example, with this bigger channel here, going back to whenever they first IPO'd in whatever, 06, look at what happened in this little area, right? So we have our outer, lower, and then we have our middle channel level. I mean, it was stalling there for almost, what is that, 6 months, 5-6 months? Almost perfectly right at the middle channel resistance level, where it faded. Right, it faded right to the lower extremity of the parallel channel support line, and bounced almost perfectly. So that's why I like to use a bunch of tools in my toolbox to just increase the odds of a trade working out. I mean, here, from the structure that I teach, this is a clear, powerful structure, drop, base, rally, monthly imbalance. Look at how strong price left this area, right? And then you get the volume surge right here. And, that all had Confluence with the channel. So it's not out of the question that CMG can one day revisit the upper extremity of the channel as long as it holds the middle. We did Netflix already. Okay. Netflix going all the way back from back then. You see, again, a low, and then we were able to connect all the highs. We can check out JP Morgan. We already looked at JP Morgan. I want to just look at a random stock just so that you guys can see it works on basically anything. Let's check out Square. We have a low here, a low here. Sorry, here's the pivot low. Here. All right, so here again, we have another clean channel on Square. Let me fix this a little bit. Low here to this low, up to this high. So here we got another channel on Square. And obviously it's at all-time highs breakout, so we can use our tools like a Fibonacci extension tool. And then price likes to go to the 1.618 or the 1.236. Or to the 2.618. And then I can get all these out. And then now I have some upside targets. But ultimately, we should expect price to make its way to the channel resistance line, which ultimately would be here, which could present a sweet short opportunity in the future. But Square actually looks pretty good right now. Where's my tool? My rush tool. Again, we can connect 3 points because we have two lows and a high. So we have a low to high to low, and the assumption is price would go up to here and fade either back down to this middle channel resistance line and continue up, or it could fade back down to here. So knowing that and just judging this by this chart, it looks like Square is going to be heading up higher. Obviously, we can go into smaller time frames like a weekly chart and draw more channels if you want to, but you'll always have, for the most part, you'll have price typically be contained within channels. I mean, I'm sure I can draw more channels here if I want to. Low, we have a low here, so we can probably go from low to low. So there's another channel here, which it's still respecting. You can see our price just sort of stays contained within the channel. Right, we have a low and a low, and then we have a little fake out in this area. But ultimately, price came back, and it was a big bear trap. Look at this. Took out a lot of stops, held it, and ultimately it should continue to head up. So another channel that was being respected. Oh, and then you obviously have channels. You also have sideways channels